Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Yo, bear down, meat stops. I appreciate you tuning into the stream, my guy. Let's get this active. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. How we doing today, chat? How we doing? How we doing? We have a fun stream planned today. We're gonna talk some Bears. A lot of news that came out today in the sports world. Um, we're definitely gonna talk some Bears, and then we are also going to have our guest of the week, new friend of the program, Jonah. Uh, so super excited to do that, chat. Let me just get a couple things prepped here, chat. Let me get a couple things prepped here, chat. Boom. Per usual, we Gucci. Godson or Kraft? What are the lineups, Jensen? What are the lineups? Oh, Godson plays tonight, right? Against Minnesota. Who's Kraft play against? Not the Browns. Is it? No, it's not the Browns. Who do the Packers play this weekend, chat? Don't even know. Don't even know who the Packers play. How we doing, chat? How we doing? I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream. We have Jonah joining us in about 39 minutes. Yeah, I have OJ and Keenan and Flex. I don't know if I should have. Damn, brother, you have both QJ and Keenan. I would definitely not play all three. I don't know if I would even play all two. I would maybe roll with one of them. But definitely put Kraft in. But who does Kraft play again? I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already, chat. Hit that like button. I want to go through some of my bookmarks. There's a bunch of stuff. First of all, let's just casually scroll. Let's just casually scroll. On NFL Twitter, sports Twitter, yo, chat. It was a crazy world in the NBA side of things today. Crazy world of NBA. I don't know if you guys saw or heard the whole Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier drama. It is crazy, Chad. It is crazy in the NBA. They're doing anything. The NBA is literally doing anything to keep up with the NFL in terms of staying in the news. Opening week for the NBA, and it's been complete drama. Craziness in the NBA, chat. Craziness. Um, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's talk some Bears. Let's talk some NFL. We're just casually scrolling here. Most yards per game this season. Chat, that's my lock for tonight. Carson Wentz over 223 and a half passing yards. Hopefully I can make a video before the game starts. But I have some things bookmarked that I want to chat with y'all about. I don't know, chat, if we have any voicemails. I gotta figure out the voicemail stuff, chat. Is my weird, super weird, chat. And why those aren't working. I gotta promote it more. But Um, let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL and some Chicago Bears talk, chat. This is an interesting one. This is definitely an interesting one. The Chicago Bears have a 26% chance of making the playoffs according to next gen stats. Can they find their way in? So, whoops. They're currently eighth in the NFC, chat. They're currently eighth. The NFC is crazy right now. The NFC North is crazy right now. This is why the division wins are so important. Why those two losses against the Lions and the Vikings at the beginning of the season were so crucial. Not even to get one of those. It's tough. It's tough. And I know the Packers went 1-5 in the division last year and still made the playoffs. I don't know how common that is, realistically, but the Bears are currently in eighth. They have the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Lions above them in the standings for the NFC. We really need to continue winning games, especially in the conference and our divisions when that schedule run comes back up. But a win against the Ravens would be super important this weekend. We'll see if Lamar plays. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Will the Chicago Bears make the playoffs in the NFC? Currently sitting at 8. So if the season ended today, they would be at 8, right above the Carolina Panthers, who have an interesting run going on right now. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. NFC wildcard standings. Do the Bears make the playoffs? I know it's early. It's week 7. However, it's always fun to talk these graphics in the hunt. That's the best time of the year. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Yo, FaZe, what's good? 0-1, shake my head. Bro, we haven't even. We might have to get into the Warzone or Battlefield's coming out. We might have to test out some gaming soon. I just don't have the schedule for it, to be honest. But once football season ends, we'll get into some gaming if it's appropriate. I don't know if we have that audience. Herbert over Lamar. Apple says if I sit Herbert tonight, Lamar doesn't play this weekend, you're cooked. That is true. Might as well. I don't know. He's looking in the direction to play, but do you have another third option? Gaston or Jay? Who's McMillan playing? Start Mason or dual tight end Ferguson and Warren? Oh, Ferguson and Warren for sure. Mason's gonna get some touches taken away by Aaron Jones tonight, isn't he? Dart or Hurts? Definitely Hurts, I believe, brother. Definitely Hurts. Chat, let's talk about DeAndre Swift. Is DeAndre Swift the MVP of the Chicago Bears offense so far this season throughout the first 7 weeks? I know the first couple of weeks were a tough start, but ever since Theo Benedict went in at left tackle, here's some of his stats. He's on pace for 252 carries, a 1,187 rushing yards. I have his over at 900 and a half. Knock on wood. We'll see how that goes. 4.7 yards per carry. Beginning of the season, it was like more like in the twos. 9 rushing touchdowns, 45 receptions, 470 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. He's been a dual running back for sure. He doesn't have the best vision. He's not the best power back, but this man's been running hard. He's been playing super well over the last few weeks, and super excited to continue seeing the growth of this running game. Kyle Monungai seems to get a couple more touches. Maybe Roshan, who I believe is hurt right now, will continue to be mixed into the running game. But right now, the lead back is DeAndre Swift, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Could he be a candidate for the Bears offensive MVP throughout the first 6-7 weeks of the season? Who else would you put in there? Maybe Jonah Jackson. He's been playing pretty well quietly. Joe Tooney, even Theo Benedict getting plugged in at the left tackle. Lots of things changed for the better once he started playing. But put your thoughts in the comments. Who is the Bears' offensive MVP? Is it DeAndre Swift? What are your thoughts on his results and what he's on pace for so far, chat? Put your thoughts in the comments. Sorry, TikTok. Bears win, right? Against the Ravens, 100%, brother. I play Keenan Allen tonight. Do I play Keenan Allen or Devontae Smith? With I would go with Devontae Smith. CD Cook, CD Cook, Kamara for Saquon. CD Cook, James Cook, and Kamara for Saquon. Yeah, I think you lost, Chris. I think you lost, brother. You gave away a top. You gave away a top receiver and a top running back for Saquon, who's just a household name and hasn't done shit this year. You got Cook. Bolton or Johnston? You're talking about QJ or Golden or Johnston? Oh, Matt Golden. Who does the Packers play? Hey, Roma Ozzy, Roma Dunze, Pitts or Otten? Who does the Bucks play? Who do I get for Saquon? Trade away Devon. Bears 27-17. Check them, John says. That would be a nice score against the Ravens. I wouldn't mind that one bit, brother. Least. Matt says, Cook alone better, right, Matt? Trade away Javante Waddle for Puka or switch Waddle for AJ. Trade Pickens for Kittle. I have JJ, Nico, and London. Yeah, I guess that's not a bad. If you need some tight end help, Adrian, I think you're giving away a pretty solid wide receiver. I think you could do better. Kittle, I have Kittle on my fantasy team, and he's been just like an extra left or right tackle for the 49ers in that offense right now. That so Popper, why the heck is Lamar back, brother? Dude, we'll see. We'll see. I think he needs another rest week. I think he should have another rest week because they play on Thursday night the following week, so you might as well get him ready to go. What do we see here, chat? Yo, I appreciate that follow on the Red app, Rama. All right, chat. Let's see. This is an interesting question. So we obviously knew Chase Young was available at the beginning of this season when we were looking for pass rusher help. But would you rather have signed, looking at everything now, would you rather have signed Chase Young for the same exact of money rather than Dial or Grady Jarrett? Looking at it now, yeah, Chase Young's not doing too bad with the Saints, in my opinion. Dial hasn't really done jack shit, to be honest. And Grady Jarrett's been a little hurt, and he's a little bit on the older side. I would definitely maybe have had Chase Young for Dial. I know Chase Young went for cheaper. Didn't his contract was a lot cheaper than Dial's? We gave Dial some crazy money, and he hasn't done jack shit yet. However, I think looking at it now, maybe you would rather have Chase Young, but put your thoughts in the comments. I know this is all hypothetical, but fun conversations to have as we try to figure out a solution in our pass rush. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's the nature of the game, but put your thoughts in the comments. Maybe Chase Young would have definitely been a better option than Dio. I know we paid Dio a lot. I know Chase Young's a little bit older, but put your thoughts in the comments, chat. If Lamar plays, yeah, we'll see, Matt. Their defense is real bad, brother. Their defense is real bad, but we'll have to see for sure. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but we need to face a good team at some point, right, to really kind of see what team we are, and it might as well be an AFC team. Trade away Javante, buy low on JCM. Are you talking about Jared McMillan? I had him on my fantasy team. I traded him away. Maybe with Andy Dalton playing, he might have better results, but with Bryce, it was kind of cooked. When Purdy comes back, Kittle will go. I was thinking that same thing, Adrian. That's why I don't know if I should hold him or trade him. Kittle's definitely Purdy's guy. Mac Jones is check down king to CMC, but with all the injuries they have, they've been just running the ball a lot, and Kittle's really important to that run game for sure. I'm a Lions fan, but y'all good. I appreciate you, Madeline. I appreciate you tuning in. The Lions are looking real good. Chase Young over Dial, not Grady. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing, Papper. Or Popper. Chat, let's continue to look at these bookmarks that I have here. Chat, let's talk about the freaking NBA, brother. If you guys didn't hear, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers was arrested today by the FBI for illegal gambling schemes associated with a mafia or of some sorts. This is like movie, TV show type shit, chat. You guys need to catch up, watch some TikTok videos, read some articles on what is going on. But essentially, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and some other NBA people, coaches, players, are being arrested for alleged illegal gambling schemes throughout the U.S. It's crazy shit. It's just funny how the NBA tries to keep up with the NFL. Like the only way they can stay in the same news sector as the NFL. There's just crazy drama like this. But it is crazy, chat. You guys have to like read into this. It's super interesting. It's like a TV show. Obviously, information. It's all new. It's still coming out today. By the hour, NBA players and coaches seem to be getting arrested who are associated. Everyone's snitching on each other, but it's a crazy scheme, crazy setup that's going on here, and they need to make a TV show or a movie about it because it's wild right now. It is wild. Bears fans, do you think Tyreek? I don't know if Tyreek's gonna play tomorrow. I really don't think so. I don't know if he's gonna play. But we shall see. We shall see. All right, chat. Let's take a look at the Bears injury report. It's not looking too good. DeMar, good timing actually on this, but the injury report as of Wednesday, I don't know if another one came out. Oh, today is Wednesday, so good news. Yeah. So Roshan did not practice today. Cole Kmet did not practice. I don't think Cole Kmet's going to play, so good opportunity for Colston Loveland to get some burn here, Chad. DJ Moore, he didn't practice today. We'll see with DJ. He's a tough SOB, so he seems to kind of have some injuries and then be a game time decision and then play. Tyreek Stevenson, that's one to be concerned about. They got Zay Flowers. They got some weapons on that offense, especially if Lamar's back. Might be an offensive shootout. But Tyreek Stevenson, we don't have a lot of depth on this secondary, check. Losing him, and he's been playing super well over the last few weeks since Jalen Johnson injury. I wouldn't want him to be hurt by any means, so we'll have to see how that injury kind of progresses throughout the course of the week. DeAndre Swift, I feel like he's always injured in the middle of the week, limited or not practicing, so we'll see how that goes. Grady Jarrett was limited. We kind of need to see how he can play for us throughout the course of the season. He's a little bit older. He's been having this knee injury for a while, so we'll see. Braxton Jones, limited. Cairo Santos. The Cairo, Jake Moody. Does Jake Moody get one more shot at it? We shall see. Nashawn Wright, limited practice. We need him. Austin Booker. That's an interesting one, chat. He's healthy. It's just a matter of, I think it's just a matter of roster management at this point, whether they activate him or not from the IR. And then that's pretty much it, chat. So interesting injuries to continue to monitor. Hopefully these players get healthy towards the end of the week and towards game time because we need a lot of them. We need Tyreek. We need DeAndre, Grady Jarrett to help stop the run and brush the quarterback. Cairo Santos is interesting, but just continue letting him heal. Put your thoughts in the comments, chat. What injury concerns you the most leading up to the Ravens game? Kittle for Keenan. I'm getting Kittle. Do you have that wide receiver depth? That doesn't seem too bad, Yuri. That seems like a solid trade. Pick 2, Terry, Tez, Dowell, or Dobbs. What are the matchups? Are you talking about Scary Terry? Isn't he hurt? Or is he playing Tez? Who are the Panthers playing? Dowell, I think, is not a bad play, but you have Chuba Hubbard coming and taking some burn from him. But I think Rico's going to end up being RB1 here soon. I appreciate that like, DeMar. Christian Watson's cheeks. Terry practiced fully today. Okay, so I mean, you got Marcus Mariota. Who are they playing? That's tough. It's not going to be JD5 playing. Chat, let's talk about the Chicago Bears kicker dilemma competition going on right now. Do you think Jake Moody should be the permanent Chicago Bears kicker? He's been 8 for 9 on field goals for the Bears over the last couple of weeks. He's a former third-round pick, 25 years old, and a much bigger leg than Cairo Santos. Cairo Santos is super accurate, the most accurate kicker in Chicago Bears history. He just doesn't have a big leg in 2025 NFL kickers world. That's just the honest truth. He's got a low trajectory. I know when Jake Moody got that one block, it was low trajectory, but Jake Moody, his pass at the 49ers scares me a little bit, which is why he got cut. his inaccuracy. But sometimes these kickers just need a new, fresh place to reset and get mentally confident again. So I say give him another chance to play this week against the Ravens, evaluate it, away field, outdoor conditions, see how well he does. But do you think it should be Jake Moody or Cairo Santos? To be honest, at this point, I really don't know. I think you get a little bit stronger leg with Jake Moody, but a little bit less accuracy. So that's kind of the trade off there. But give Cairo one more week to heal and then really evaluate the situation. That's a tough situation for Ben Johnson and Ryan Pace because Cairo Santos gets cut, another team's probably going to pick him up. You put Jake Moody on the practice squad, another team's probably going to pick him up. There's a couple teams like the Giants and even the Packers with McManus hurt that need some kickers. So it'll be super interesting to see the development of this kicker competition. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Jake Moody or Cairo Santos? Chiefs for who, Lo? I forgot. Who's playing the Chiefs? The Commanders? Moody all day. DeMar says JSM or JCM or Monunga. Who's JCM? Am I a bot? Oh, Bill? Bill, for sure. McCroskey Merritt? Robbie Gold. No, I think statistically, DeMar, Cairo Santos is the most accurate kicker in Chicago Bears history. Start Golden or Johnson? QJ? Are you talking about QJ? I would definitely start QJ tonight. The Commanders. Oh, the Commanders versus Chiefs. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. What are your other options? Trade away Herbert and Adunze for Lamar and Flowers? I would maybe do that, but Lamar's been hurt, brother, so I don't know. That's risky. Herbert's been putting up some numbers. Start two, Diggs, Keenan, and Tet. Diggs and Tet. Start Golden or Johnson. QJ, if you're talking about Quentin Johnson. Hey, Ty, I appreciate that follow. Start two, Diggs, Tet, and Diggs. Where's Cody Parker at? I have no idea, Demar. I hope somewhere kicking rocks, getting paper cuts. I hate Cody Parker. Chat. Here's some NFL trade rumors associated with the Bears. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler has linked Chicago Bears as a trade partner for the Jets for edge Jermaine Johnson. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too much about Jermaine Johnson, but here's some of his stats so far in 2025. 2 games, 15 total tackles, 2 QB hits, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. That defensive line, that front, that pass rush for the New York Jets is pretty solid. There's a couple other players I'd rather probably target, like McDonald and is it Williams? But do you think the Chicago Bears should trade for edge Jermaine Johnson? I think he's still on a rookie deal. I don't think it would cost more than a 3rd round pick. He is a former Pro Bowler. So I don't think it would cost a lot as much as a Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson, obviously, but I don't know if this is the answer. You got to kind of have Ryan Poles and his scouts and Dennis Allen evaluate Jermaine Johnson, look at the film, see if he would provide any type of help. Like, how much more help would he provide more than rotating Austin Booker, Dio, and some of the current defensive ends and edges and pass rushers that we currently have? I don't know. I don't know too much about Jermaine Johnson. I'd rather just kind of send the house for someone like Max Crosby, but I know he doesn't want to be traded. He wants to stay in Oakland. So super interesting trade deadline talk to pay attention to as teams become sellers. Like, I'd rather maybe have like a Bradley Chubb. Maybe his name is just bigger than Jermaine Johnson, but Bradley Chubbs or Phillips from the Dolphins. You got teams like the Dolphins and the Jets that are going to start becoming sellers and liquidating their players. So this is something to pay attention to. Obviously, the more help, the better, but I don't want to give up anything more than a 4th, and depending on the contract extension for Jermaine Johnson are things to consider. But that's what Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, and Dennis Allen's jobs are for, so super interesting to see if they even trade for anyone to help on the defensive line. Put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Tyreek Wilson for a 3rd. I did see some talk about Tyreek Wilson tomorrow. I don't know too much. I know who he got drafted up high. Like, wasn't he a 1st rounder? But I don't know what some of his results have been. Bo Nix or Josh Allen to stay for fantasy. Definitely got to play Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen on a bye, or was that last week? Chat, we have about 30 minutes or so until our friend Jonah joins us. So I'm going to continue some Bears talk. If you guys want us to talk about anything in particular, let me know. But I'm gonna continue going through some of these bookmarks I have saved for some clips and stuff, and definitely fun talking points that I came across throughout Twitter this week. This is just Justin Fields. I don't know if you guys saw this with the comments with Jets owner. Let's restart this. Poor Justin, chat. Poor Justin. Essentially, Jets owner threw him under the bus, saying if Aaron Glenn had a better quarterback, their team would have won a couple games by now. He was pretty solid, nothing special. Yeah, I'd have to look at the stats and kind of see some of his production this year. What do you think about Wright? Darnell Wright? Yeah, he's been playing solid so far this season. It's the pre-snap penalties that kind of give him a lesser grade for me so far this season. But overall, that game against the Commanders was probably one of his best games in a while, coming off an injury. So he's definitely been playing pretty solid. It's just the penalties and him needing to lock in. First couple of weeks were rough, but it's the pre-snap penalties for pretty much everyone on the offensive line besides Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson, as of late, knock on wood, that have been the big red flags. But we shall see. We have a lot of game left, and I want to continue seeing the development and growth and success of this offensive line we've seen the last couple of weeks. Yo, what's good, Machine? What do we do if Stevenson don't play? I don't know, man. I don't know. Next man up. Next man up. It's going to be tough. Our corners are definitely going to need to step up, but it's the nature of the business. What's good, Ghost? I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, we just talked about Jermaine Johnson here. Harrison even posted it. We talked about the injury report. We can undo that one. Chat, we talked about the injury report a little bit here, but which injury are you more worried about, Cole Kmet or Tyreek Stevenson? It looks like these two are week to week, so it's probably doubtful that they will play, but we'll see later on in the week during the practices. But for me, I would be more worried about Tyreek Stevenson. Our secondary is a little bit stretched thin already with Jalen Johnson out. Being able to cover Zay Flowers, and if Lamar's healthy, he's going to be slinging it. Rashad Bateman, you got Mark Andrews out there. Cole Kmet is not necessarily a big concern for me. He hasn't had the most production this season so far. He had a solid game. I believe it was against the Commanders and run blocking and stuff, but he had a couple major drops against the Raiders, and it gives an opportunity for Colston Loveland to step up and be a featured tight end in this offense, tight end one, and really see if he can step up and get some more targets, some more catches, and more involvement in this offense. So I'm more concerned about Tyreek Stevenson 100%. I don't even think that's a question with the secondary depth that we have right now. And Cole Kmet is a little bit more replaceable, so to speak. I don't want that to sound harsh, but it's the truth. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. More concerned about Cole Kmet or Tyreek Stevenson on the injury report for the Chicago Bears leading up against the Baltimore Ravens? DeMar says Stevenson. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, brother. I definitely agree with you. It's a soccer chat. I don't know if you guys are interested in soccer, but I don't know why I bookmarked it. It was just interesting for me to check out. All right, chat. We made a video similar to this earlier in the week, but who has been your favorite Bears defensive player to watch so far in 2025? Your favorite defensive player to watch so far for the Chicago Bears? Montez Sweat is a candidate. Over the last couple weeks, he hasn't been playing too bad. He has a couple, sacks or strip sack fumbles, stuff like that, but nothing major. Tyreek Stevenson, ever since Jalen Johnson injury, he's been playing really well. Bounce back game against the Commanders. Tremaine Edmonds has been playing really well also, chat. He's been playing really well. And then obviously Kevin Byard. I would even add Nashawn Wright to this list. I wouldn't be afraid to add Nashawn Wright. TJ Edwards coming back from injury. He's one of my favorite. But who has been your favorite Bears defensive player so far in the 2025 season? Put your thoughts in the comments. I would probably have to say Tyreek Stevenson. He's helped us out a lot. After week 2, he's really stepped it up. And then Tremaine Edmonds. This is a tough one, chat, but that's why I want to ask you. Put your thoughts in the comments. Who would you pick as your favorite Bears defensive player so far through 7 weeks of the NFL 2025 NFL season? Look at Thursday injury reports. Let me check, brother. Let me check. We might have to redo that clip then, huh? Did they come out yet? Oh, here, chat. Here's the Thursday injury reports. I guess we got to redo that. Thursday, Roshan did not practice. Braxton Jones did not practice. He went from limited to did not practice. Cole Kmet did not practice. That's not a good sign. Tyreek Stevenson did not practice. That's not a good sign. Joe Tooney did not practice. Maybe it was a veteran's rest. Tremaine Edmonds was limited. Wow. The injury report got worse from Wednesday to Thursday. Kyler Gordon, limited. Oh, no. DJ Moore, limited. All right, that's a little bit better. DeAndre Swift, limited. That's a little bit better. Austin Booker, Grady Jarrett, full participant. So that's better news. Cairo Santos, full participant. And Nashawn Wright, full participant. All right. So not too bad, chat. But who is your biggest concern on this injury report list? Tyreek Stevenson, that's a big one. Tremaine Edmonds, I know it's Thursday. It's a little bit earlier in the week. Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, those are big ones for me, chat. But put your thoughts in the comments. Who is your biggest injury concern on this Thursday report right now? Yeah, tomorrow will be interesting to see, especially with Kyler Gordon hurt too. But good comms on the Thursday injury report. Good comms on that. Go back to some bookmarks, chat. Chat, we talked about this last week, but I didn't get a chance to post it and clip it. Jonah Jackson's had quite the start to this season. Quiet start, but that's good. When your offensive line is not getting his name thrown around a lot in the media and in social media, that's a good sign. First couple weeks, a little rough with the pre-snap penalties and stuff like that. But Jonah Jackson, this is from our boy Nick at Just Another Year Chicago Bears. Jonah Jackson continues to show he's been a solid pickup for the Bears for only a 6th-round pick. He's a much better solution at right guard than Nate Davis was and Bates was and all the plug-and-play stuff that we did. I was a little concerned after the first couple weeks, not going to lie, but he's really turned it around and been playing really solid, knock on wood. He's played every offensive snap, only 1 sack, 0 QB hits, hurries, 10 hurries, 5 in game 1. Like I mentioned, that first couple weeks were a little rough, pre-snap penalties and whatnot, but good to see he just needed Ben Johnson's offense to get back to his high level of play. If you guys didn't notice, he was a Pro Bowler, I believe, when he was playing for Ben Johnson a couple years ago with Detroit. Then he got signed a contract with the Rams and was just kind of injured or whatnot. Then we trade a 6th-round pick for him. But put your thoughts in the comments about Jonah Jackson's play so far this season. Cannot complain. He's been playing pretty solid. You know, the first couple games are a little rough, but he has been locked in the rest of the season. Love to see this. Put your thoughts in the comments. Jonah Jackson, we need to continue playing like this, brother. Knock on wood. But put your thoughts in the comments about Jonah Jackson's performance so far throughout the first 7 weeks. If Lamar ain't playing, I'll be so disappointed. Why, Cozy? You a Ravens fan or see on your fantasy? Faded Pick says, go Bears. Go Bears, brother. I appreciate you. Jonah Jackson's good considering he's playing left guard when he's a right guard. No, isn't he a right guard? Joe Tooney's left guard. No? Or am I tripping, chat? Jonah Jackson is right guard, no? He's next to Darnell Wright on the right side. Or am I tripping? I saw this chat and it was just fun conversation. As the trade deadline approaches, here's a low risk, high reward move for the Bears. Chargers receive Braxton Jones and a 7th round pick, and the Bears receive our boy Khalil Mack. Max cap hit is only $8 million, which is solid. Chicago can boost its pass rush without hurting the future. Honestly, chat, if you guys didn't know, the Los Angeles Chargers have a lot of injuries on their offensive line, including their left tackle who's out for the season, Rashawn Slater, I believe. Out for the whole season. Or is it Joe? Oh, but their offensive line's banged up. However, trading Braxton Jones for Khalil Mack, put your thoughts in the comments. I'm not really in support of trading away Braxton Jones before the trade deadline because offensive lineman injuries could happen all the time, and he provides a good depth spot at a position that we don't have a solution for. Hypothetically, if Theo Benedict did get hurt, who goes to left tackle if Braxton Jones is not on the roster? Ozzie Trapillo, who you drafted, who you thought could be a left tackle, but pans out he's not. You put Darnell Wright at left tackle, and then you're just kind of playing in limbo for the rest of the season, trying to get someone comfortable at that position because it is a big change. You might not think so. Oh, it's right to left. Who cares? No, it's a big change for those guys. So that's my only concern with trading away Braxton Jones. I'm not the biggest supporter of trading him away during the middle of this season. I would love for them to keep him. However, if it's someone for like Khalil Mack, who just came off a pretty serious elbow injury, not going to lie, we'll see him tonight in prime time, but put your thoughts in the comments. Would you consider this? Would you rather just have Braxton Jones for death in case of an emergency at the left tackle position? I want to get your guys' thoughts in the comments. Braxton Jones, Khalil Mack, that's a fun storyline. That's a fun talk before the trade deadline, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to get rid of Braxton Jones for a depth piece. Put your thoughts in the comments, chat. I'm a Bears fan. I want to beat the Ravens at full strength. I respect that, Cozy. I respect that, brother. Nah, I'm tripping you, right, brother. I just want to win. I do not want Lamar playing. Not bad. 2 first rounders and 1 second for Max Crosby. I would do that, brother. I would do that. I don't trust Ryan Poles. Yo, DeMar says 2 first rounders and 1 second for Max Crosby. Would you do it? I would do it. I would do it. I don't trust Ryan Poles with our draft picks. We need a superstar edge rusher. If there's a way, the cap hit would really be brutal, but if there's a way to somehow trade Montez Sweat away to someone who could take on Montez Sweat, or even give them Montez Sweat also instead of the second, maybe 2 first rounders and Montez Sweat for Max Crosby, I'm okay with that. I just don't want a lot of our cap space designated for the defensive line, because at that point, you got Dial in the books, you got Sweat, then you would have Crosby. So very interesting, but 2 first and a second for Max Crosby. Would you do it? Put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Put your thoughts in the comments. I don't think Max is that old, brother. Is he old? Is he like 29? Or maybe he's 30. I don't think he's as old. He's not as old as Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson is definitely older. Speaking of Max Crosby, chat, I came across this. Tom Pelissero reported nobody wants to win more than Max Crosby, and he wants to do it with the Raiders. Despite various rumors with the trade deadline 2 weeks away, the face of the franchise isn't leaving Las Vegas. The Raiders met with Max Crosby today to let him know that they aren't shopping him and won't trade him. While other teams are interested, the Raiders aren't interested in moving their best player. It's like, this is what happened with Myles Garrett. He demanded a trade and then got the paycheck and money talks. He doesn't really want to win. He just wanted the bag. Same thing with Max Crosby, bro. Like, Max Crosby is a dog. But the fact that you want to stay in Vegas and not get traded to a winning team is just ridiculous, brother. Like the Raiders are also just dumb, not trading away any of their assets for a team that is cooked this season. They're cooked. And the fact that they don't want to trade Max Crosby, the fact that Max Crosby doesn't want to get traded, I don't know if he's just playing PR and just saying that, but it's dumb. It's dumb. Like, you're going to be on a losing team your whole freaking, wasting your prime, wasting your talent to be with the freaking Las Vegas Raiders and Geno Smith. That's got to be miserable, brother. That's got to be so miserable. You're never going to win in Vegas. You're going to waste your whole career in Vegas, just like Myles Garrett is wasting his whole career in Cleveland. Request a trade, go to a winning team. You got teams like the Eagles, the Bears, other teams, the 49ers that need pass rush help, like, I don't know, like cap space or draft capital wise, but I'm just spitting it out there. Teams that need help on the defensive line. You got the Cowboys. The Cowboys are super interested in Max Crosby. You're telling me Max Crosby would rather play with the losing Raiders than an opportunity to have your quarterback be Dak Prescott in Jerry World? I know the whole drama with the Cowboys, but I would much rather be playing for the Cowboys and have Dak Prescott as my quarterback and immediately become a contender. But to each is his own. That's Max Crosby's decision. That was Myles Garrett's decision. That's the Raiders' decision. The Raiders are just dumb. They should be trading all their players away because they have no quarterback. Their team is ass. But put your thoughts in the comments. Should Max Crosby request a trade even though he doesn't want to? It's just comical to me. It's dumb. Put your thoughts in the comments though, chat. 28 too old for 2 first-rounders. That's how old Khalil Mack was, I believe, Cozy. When we traded for Mack, he was in his 20. Was he like 20? He was 28. Do I start Collins over Addison? Are you talking about Nico Collins? Isn't he hurt or questionable? What are you giving up for Brian Burns? I don't think they're going to trade Brian Burns. They're kind of competing right now, bro. I don't think they'll trade away. Who do you think the Lions will get? I don't know if they trade for anybody. What are some of their needs? I know they got a bunch of injuries on defense, but I don't know exactly some of their needs, not going to lie. Here we go, chat. Teams keeping an eye on Jets ahead of the trade deadline. Here's some of the names on the Jets roster that could be in play to be traded. We've talked about Breece Hall a lot. Quincy Williams, Jermaine Johnson, we just talked about. Will McDonald, who's a little bit more sought after name, a little bit more prestigious pass rusher, so to speak. Michael Carter and Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard is probably going to go to the Steelers. That's Aaron Rodgers' boy. Aaron Rodgers is going to make sure the Steelers call the Jets to pick that one up. But Breece Hall, chat, I think DeAndre Swift has been playing pretty well. We've seen spurts of Monangai playing well. And our offensive line has been playing a lot better so far this season than it has the first couple of the weeks when we did not have a running game. I really don't think we need to trade for a running back right now. I think we can address that in the offseason. Just keep rotating Roshan and Monangai and Swift and keep improving the run game and the offensive line, creating these holes. And I don't think we need to waste draft capital and cap space on a luxury running back, so to speak, like Breece Hall. Someone I would like to go after is maybe an edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, some players on the Dolphins. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Any of these names stand out to you that you think the Chicago Bears should trade for? Put your thoughts in the comments. Collins is questionable with concussion, but Addison plays tonight. That's all your options, BH? Why are we getting everyone back pretty much after this bye? We're getting everyone back. Do you think maybe then I don't know. Who's Nico playing? Who are the Texans playing? Do you think we should trade for a corner? I don't know. We'll have to see Tyreek's injury and the timetable of Jalen Johnson and see how they play this week. Any of the backups. Jalen Phillips, yeah, I wouldn't mind Jalen Phillips depending on how much it costs. But Cozy, trading for a corner is probably not a bad option. They might have to pick one up in free agency or trade for someone lower level just to survive a week or two. But playing the 49ers, that's a tough one with a concussion. Maybe play Addison, brother. Addison hasn't been playing too bad, especially with Carson Wentz. I have him in one of my leagues, and I keep forgetting. I don't put him in, and he has like 20 points on the bench. But maybe Justin Jefferson gets double coverage, and he tosses it to Addison. Yo, Cozy, I appreciate that follow, brother. I appreciate that follow. We got chat. We got a few more minutes till our boy Jonah joins us, guest of the week. If you guys weren't familiar, we just talked about this a little bit. This is just a hypothetical Bears fan. We even talked about this with Harrison a couple weeks ago. Glad he brought it up in a tweet. But would you trade Montez Sweat and a first round pick for Max Crosby? Might have to add another pick. 74% of the people said yes. I'm all for this because I know we need another pass rusher on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, but that would be an expensive D line. I don't, because Montez Sweat has barely any production, I just don't mind even upgrading that position by itself. So if that requires trading away Montez Sweat and bringing in a better pass rusher, and we still need to find some help on the other side, but don't have to invest as much on the other side, I think that is a great solution because Montez Sweat is eating a lot of cap space right now. So bringing in another premier pass rusher on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, that would have a lot of dedicated cap space on the D line, and that's not a smart way to utilize the resources that you have in the cap space with a few other holes that we have on this team. So I'm all for trading Montez Sweat away with a deal for another pass rusher like Max Crosby, whether that's 1 first round or 2 first round that we even talked about in a different tweet. But we definitely talked about this with Harrison. Super interesting. I don't know how feasible it is, but put your thoughts in the comments, chat. I don't think we need to keep Montez Sweat, so to speak, just because of that cap space hit that it would take on the Bears. Yo, what's good, Colin? You be live for the Vikings game? Gonna be a good one, brother. Good luck on your stream, my guy. Can they sign someone from free agency before the game? Who, DeMar? I feel the same each week with ads, so going to take the risk. Yeah, you never know, BH. James Brad, nah, they're too old, DeMar. I remember. I know Gilmore was a free agent for sure. Couple more things to talk about before we have our boy Jonah join us, chat. Let's talk about Joe Tooney. Joe Tooney might be the MVP of this offense so far this season. It might have been a steal of a trade during this offseason. What did we trade for? I think it was a 4th round pick or so, but Joe Tooney, knock on wood, has been quiet, but in a good way for the Chicago Bears. 0 sacks allowed, 4 hurries allowed, 83 passing block grade, which is first among guards. 73.2 PFF grade, which PFF grades are stupid anyways. I don't even care about them. 0 penalties. The one player on this offensive line that has 0 penalties is Joe Tooney. Hallelujah. Because everyone else has a bunch of penalties. What an addition he's been so far for the Chicago Bears, chat. Put your thoughts in the comments about Joe Tooney. What a trade. He's been a humongous help and contributor to this offense so far this season. The fact that we got him is crazy. All pro, left guard, Joe Tooney. Put your thoughts in the comments. He's been super helpful and super productive and super quiet for a good reason. So glad that we got this trade. Credit to Ryan Poles and that staff for seeking him out. And the Chiefs were in a pickle with their cap space and needed to give away someone on their offensive line, and I'm glad that we got him. Asante? I don't think so. Next game, Zach says. What's next game, brother? When was the 20th, chat? When was the 20th? Monday. I'm going to do a couple more talking points here, chat, and then we are going to... Let's talk about the Chicago Bears defense, chat. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears defense. Since week 3, total yards allowed ranked 3rd. Passing yards allowed 5th. Rushing yards allowed 12. Points allowed 8. We have to give credit to Dennis Allen and this defense because of all the injuries that we had starting the season. First couple weeks were rough. Lost the lead to the Minnesota Vikings. Got belt to ass by the Detroit Lions. But ever since then, we've been locking in. We barely have a pass rush, and we are leading the league in takeaways. Dennis Allen and his squad need to be given their flowers because they locked in and stopped the run against the Commanders. That was a huge adjustment. That was a huge improvement that we needed because if we were going to continue having a leaky defense in the run game, we were cooked. You see the way that Ashton Jeanty ran against us? We were lucky that he didn't reach 400 yards. So key adjustments on this defensive staff and this defensive play. The fact that we're starting to blitz more to compensate for some of the lack of pass rush with our front four has been super important. But put your thoughts in the comments. We lead the league in takeaways, which is huge. Some say it's not sustainable, but they're just doing their job. Some of them were lucky takeaways like the blocked field goal and the fumble against the Commanders, but Byard and Nashawn Wright just snatching and Edmonds getting all these interceptions. That's not luck. That is just hard play and keeping your eye on the ball. So I love the way our defense has been playing. We have some injuries on the injury report leading up to the Ravens. So it's going to be a huge test against a Lamar Jackson offense if he's playing, and a Derrick Henry offense, and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. So we do have some key injuries that we need to hope get a little bit healthier leading into that Ravens game. But true test for this defense, and I'm super excited to see how they play. But so far have been amazing. Put your thoughts in the comments about the Chicago Bears defense. I hope Caleb can pass the ball next game. Yeah, Zach. The passing game needs to improve a lot. This game against the Ravens. The Ravens have a really bad defense, so we'll see. Top defense for sure. Theo said, "What is good, Theo? How you doing, my guy?" Byard is going crazy, man. Yeah, Byard is having quite the season. I don't want to touch the field. Josh Backfield is not terrible. DeMar forgot he's probably a backup. Chat. Let's do our final talking point before Jonah joins us. Top 10 rankings. Here's Fox top 10 rankings, and the Bears cracked the top 10 right after the San Francisco 49ers. Put your thoughts in the comments. This is crazy. It's super cool to see. Obviously, we have to sustain this success throughout the course of the season. We still need to improve the passing game a lot. We still need to rush the quarterback, reduce penalties on the offense. So we'll see how this goes. But it's super cool to see that the Bears made the top 10. What's your thoughts? Put them in the comments. Should the Bears be in the top 10? What would you change? What team would you replace in the top 10? But I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments on this one. We made top 10, baby. What's going on, Levi? I appreciate you. Only if Jalen Johnson wasn't injured. I don't. Yeah, Zach. That's a tough injury. We should absolutely not trade anyone, in my opinion. Like, trade away or trade for. Our team morals seem so good. Yeah, our team is definitely vibing. The culture is definitely there, brother. Let me see. Check my phone chat and see. All right, Jonah's gonna be on 3 minutes, chat. Jonah is gonna be on in 3 minutes. Let's see if there's anything. I gotta check a fantasy football drama here. Yeah, not trade away. I don't. Maybe. I don't think so, Theo. Maybe Cole Komet, but I don't know. Now he's hurt. Trading for maybe, yeah. Chat, we got Jonah joining us in 3 minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Super fun and exciting stream plan with Jonah. If you guys don't know Jonah, he is the Wrigley Field hot dog vendor legend. I don't know how many of y'all are into the Cubs or baseball or been to a game at Wrigley Field, but he's pretty well known on social media. Wrigley Field's favorite hot dog vendor. And obviously he's a Bears fan. So I thought it was pretty cool to have him on the pod. New friend of the program. Always expanding our friends of our community. So definitely cool to see. All right, chat. Let me get everything set up with Jonah here, and I will tune back here in a second. Hey, Jonah, can you hear me? Oh, wait, wait. Hey, Jonah, can you hear me? Yes, yes, awesome. Give me a second. One man band here. I'm going to get you set up, and then we'll do a couple testings, make sure that each stream can hear you. Appreciate you tuning in, though. Yeah, let me do a couple copy paste camera links here. See if we're good to go. Start recording. And then let me test it on the YouTube first. If you want to give me a 1, 2, 3 testing.
1, 2, 3 testing.
1, 2, 3 testing. And then if you want to give me one more for the TikTok. Wait.
Testing the TikTok.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Sorry for that awkward transition, Jonah. We just got to do that every time we get a guest on here. But I appreciate you tuning in. I've seen you on social media, had you on the list to reach out to, so I appreciate the short notice and just jumping on. And nothing formal here, Bear Down and Beyond. We don't take ourselves too serious, but a fun platform to talk Bears, and definitely want to learn a little bit more about you. I know you got a startup and stuff like that, and then we can get into Bears versus Ravens.
Stellar. Sounds great. Yeah, no, appreciate you having me on. And I know it's not formal. I just filmed a skit where I had to dress up as a teacher. So this is not my normal Sunday Bears getup, but
do you do so you do content full time outside of your startup? If you want to give a little background, like love to get to know you a little bit more, obviously from outside of what I've seen on social, but I know you are Wrigley Field's favorite hot dog vendor. You are an entrepreneur, which I can definitely relate there, and then content creator, right?
all the above. You got it down to a science. I do not do content full time. Main gig is I run a fantasy gaming company called Bracketology. We do fantasy football and March Madness style games, but for reality TV shows instead of sports. So that's my main gig full time. Over the summer, obviously, I'm at Wrigley. I think I worked like 45 of the 82 home games regular season this year, 81 home games. But also have now added a third job in the last couple seasons of making content. So busy guy, but this timing worked perfectly. I appreciate you reaching out after the Cubs season ended and can already shift my focus into some exciting Bears football.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Congrats on all the ventures and the success. I did see the bracketology.tv. You got to tell me a little bit more about it. I'm a reality TV guy. Me and my girlfriend always watching Love Island and all that stuff. So tell the audience a little bit more about how this works. I saw fantasy football, March Madness for reality TV, and I need a little bit of dissect there.
Yeah, happily. So right now, we started offering free-to-play season-long fantasy games. It used to just be for the Bachelor franchise, and I met my co-founder, and I was like, hey, you ever thought about expanding this outside of the Bachelor to all reality TV shows? So we started at 3 Bachelor shows. We now do 34 reality TV and award shows. But basically, we have 4 different free-to-play game types. You got your classic March Madness style bracket where you choose who you think will get eliminated all the way down to the winner, your bracket locks for the season. We have 2 weekly elimination style games, and then what we call our advanced game. It's like fantasy football. So you draft a team of contestants each week, depending on what they do and say during the episode, based on a predetermined list of rules, is how your contestants earn points. So like for Survivor, for example, if you say the word strategy, or you win an immunity challenge, or you are seen eating on camera, all those are ways for you to earn fantasy points as a contestant. So that's how we started. Over the last month or so, we've been kind of rolling out a soft launch into paid daily fantasy pools utilizing sweepstakes gaming. So for the first time, you can actually win real cash prizes entering these reality TV daily fantasy pools.
That's cool. That's cool. So if I'm watching Love Island and probably already, we're supposed to be Bears talk, but this is fun. I like this. So if I'm watching Love Island this past season, And for my fantasy team, or even for March Madness for surviving, is it like based on each contestant or a couple like Huda or like Jeremiah, like all that? I don't know if you obviously you got to know Love Island, right? You're one of the top reality TV shows, but
Of
how
course.
does that incorporate into like? So I'm picking my fantasy lineup. How many times that Huda says, I'm a mommy," or like if it's the Survivor, the March Madness side of it, like who makes it to the end? And I forgot half of the contestants to be honest, whatever they were, but yeah, so something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't do the fantasy game type, that the advanced fantasy football game type like you were talking about, where it's based on actions and phrases for Love Island. Just it was our first season doing Love Island, and there's just so much content that it would be hard to watch all of it and score it. But what we did do was we used our confidence pool game type. So for each recoupling, you would rank how confident you were that each contestant would survive the recoupling and not get sent home from the island. So yeah, you could, like, if you thought that Chelly and Ace were a strong couple and they weren't going to get voted off, you'd rank them at the top of your lineup. If you thought that Pepe was going to get voted off, you'd put him at the bottom in your 0 point slot, and earn points that way.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then yeah, reality TV. I don't even we watch Below Deck and stuff. During the off season of not football and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I got to spend time with my girlfriend, make sure we clock in. So some
That's how it goes.
reality
It's all
TV.
about give and take.
All right, that's cool. I appreciate you sharing more info and good luck. And I've started a couple apps and stuff back in my day, so I definitely understand the hustle and respect. So transitioning a little bit here to Wrigley Field's favorite hot dog vendor. I want to learn a little bit more about that. That's got to be one of the coolest jobs that you get to be at Wrigley Field specifically. I know the history behind that stadium. Myself, I'm not a big baseball guy. However, I've been to a couple of professional games, and going to a game is a lot more fun than maybe watching it on TV. The atmosphere, and even if it's just for a social side of thing, have some beers in the nice summer weather. But tell me a little bit about that. How was the 2025 Cubs season for you, and any funny stories that came along with that?
Yeah, I mean this year for sure. This was my 11th season. I started when I was 18 years old. My buddies and I mean, I've been a diehard Cubs fan my entire life, and unlike you, I adore baseball. I agree with you though that like there's something magical about being at the stadium. It takes a little bit of a sicko to sit down and watch 162 games on TV a year. Unfortunately, I am one of those people. But I mean, we reached out, and before I went to college over the summer, I was like, "Hey, I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Would love to work for you." And they're like, "Yeah, we need help vending." And I was like, "Great." So fast forward 11 years, and I'm still slinging beers and hot dogs in the seats. 2025 though was just it was unbelievable. At the beginning of the season, we won some games that like you couldn't even imagine. There was a 16-run inning against the Diamondbacks one game. And then, I mean, my most favorite part was the playoffs. My one goal this year was to work another playoff game at Wrigley, and I hadn't since 2017. So just to get playoff baseball back at Wrigley was a win. And we played 5 home games and we won 4 of them. And the stadium, especially for game 4 of the NLDS, was the second most electric game I have ever worked, minus the 2016 game 6 of the NLCS, but even more electric than any of the 3 World Series games. So I mean, this year was, in my book, it was a win. We overperformed, and it was great to have playoff ball back at Wrigley.
No, yeah, I always listen to ESPN 1000 in the morning before my gym and all the routines. So I do get my Cubs synopsis every day, especially with Kaplan there. Cap always complaining or cheering about the Cubs. So I am a little bit informed on what's going on in Chicago baseball, and stuff like that. And I was trying to do the math. 11 years. So you were there during the World Series run, right? 2016 was that? And what year we are? We're in 2000. Oh yeah. So you had been
Yeah.
so that had been really cool to be working some home games at Wrigley Field during a World Series run.
Yeah, it was my second season vending. I actually worked the playoff series in 2015 against the Cardinals also, which was our first home playoff clinching win. Debated maybe ever. I'll have to fact check that, but it was, working the World Series was so electric. I mean, especially for a Cubs fan, like you can't complain about standing room only tickets were $1,300, and I was getting paid to go work the World Series. So, I mean, yeah, playoff baseball obviously is one of the good perks, but I love the everyday interaction of just chatting with Cubs fans, making a fool out of myself in the seats with practicing different calls and just being outside, getting exercise and calling Wrigley Field the office. But 2016 was that October, early November was the best time of my life.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you any top three stories or memories from this season, like with the fans. Any drama, any craziness on social media? You always see NFL fans get a little ratchet and rowdy, but a midday Cubs game, it's probably has a little bit more class. But any fun war stories or like players you met or funny moments with the fans that maybe didn't get caught on social media or something like that?
Oh man, I feel like there's just so many small interactions with the fans that I have during the season that are always just so eventful or enjoyable. I mean, most of the time people are pretty well behaved, so there's not a lot of things that in the seats that would be that go wrong drama wise. Occasionally, the White Sox come to town and there's some pushing and shoving in a different section here or there. But in terms of like specific stories, none that are really coming to mind. But I mean, I've interacted with a ton of different Cubs fans on social media, and that's also been super fun. Justin Steele follows me on TikTok. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's always interesting. I always want to know like if the players can hear the vendors during the game, or are they so locked in? Because a couple of those guys got some really loud hot dog calls. But it's just, yeah, I mean, it's a blessing to be able to work there, and hopefully I can continue to spread the content and interact with more Cubs and hot dog fans.
Yeah, we're speaking of calls. We got Theo in the chat as Jonah the most successful and least successful call.
Most successful. I mean, there's a guy named Antonio that you can hear selling hot dogs on the TV broadcast or the radio broadcast. He is the loudest dude. I'm like it's probably likely that he's broken a couple eardrums here or there. Antonio is definitely one of the most successful, but everyone's call is, I feel like it's an art form. They like, it's like an artist. No two hot dog calls are the same, or a snowflake. Like there's no identical call. So it's always fun to like put a spin on it. The least successful call is just, if you're quiet, you need to be loud. The first ever game I worked, I was selling soda in the upper deck, and I did not say a word. I walked the catwalk between the 300 and the 400s, sold like maybe 9 bottles of soda. And I was like, all right, well, that was not successful. So then you start to get a little more comfortable and confident. And then by the end of the season, I'm cracking jokes and screaming as loud as I can. And now 11 years later, I mean, there's nothing I'm not willing to try in terms of what might get a sale.
Can we get one for the clip? Can we get can you give us a good call?
Yeah, of course. So I have a theory and a formula for all of my calls, really. So when I'm in the seats, no matter what I'm selling, I'll generally start my call out with like a to get people's attention. And then I'll go into what I'm selling once I have their attention. So I'll be like, hot dogs. And what I've noticed is, if you just start out calling what you're saying, it's going to take people a couple seconds to register. So I break that with just a random sound that I think catches people's ear, and then they're looking at me, and then I go into what I'm selling. But I've noticed that works well for me, and is generally I'm the hot dogs guy. So it's been a work in progress, but 11 years down the road now, I feel like I've honed in on it pretty well.
But it's definitely on my list to go to a Cubs game. So I'm in New York. My father's born and raised in South Side of Chicago, but I'm born and raised here. But made sure I was a Bears fan out here, and I go to Chicago once or twice a year, usually in the summertime. It's usually with like my girlfriend or something. So like having a weekend, having a day dedicated to going to a baseball game is a little bit of a stretch, but it's definitely my to-do list. Even if it's for a few innings on a sunny day and just for the social aspect, I definitely want to go. And if I do go, I got to make sure I hit you up and see if you're working or whatnot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, give me a shout when you make it here. Even if you're not a baseball fan, like I implore every sports fan to make it to a Cubs game at some point. It's just like so much history at Wrigley, and you can't have a bad time there.
Yeah, and we got Zool in the chat. He said, "Please tell Jonah I'm only here for the straw pockets."
Oh, he gets it. That he's got Zool's got a good head on his shoulders. I'm a my number one thing to sell. My favorite thing to sell is frozen margaritas. And
Ooh, that's
one thing about me is I almost never wear long pants when I'm vending, no matter the weather. I wear cargo shorts so that I can store as much in my pockets as possible. One of those being a straw pocket, which is essential to quick selling so that I can pull the margarita out of my bag, pull a straw out of the pocket. It's a 1-2 punch. But the straw pocket is an essential part of margarita vending.
so you're rotating different items. It's not you're not strictly the hot dogs. You're just going whatever gets empty and then getting the margs and all that good stuff.
No, so you're assigned a specific item and a specific section for each game. But before the game, we line up in a room with all of the vendors. We line up in seniority order and we draft our product and our sections. So I don't know what's going to be available by the time it gets to my spot in line. And even though I've been there 11 years, there's probably, let's say there were 100 people employed. I'm probably 70th in line still. That just shows like how people don't leave this job. It's the guy at the front. His name's Hopper. This was his 62nd or 63rd season.
And there's you said 100 plus vendors on what like a prime time game, like or is it even like a afternoon game? There's 100 plus vendors.
Yeah, I mean, generally, like you don't have to work every game. There's a lot of flexibility in the schedule, but I'd say for every game, there's at least 65 vendors in the seats, 65 to 85.
I didn't know it was that many. Like I go to NFL games, right? Me and my father watch a Bears game in every stadium. We're going to Cincinnati this year for stadium number 8 or 9. I have to look at the thumbnail. But I didn't
Awesome.
realize there's like I guess an NFL stadium it's a little bit, but I didn't realize even like 65 vendors, like the vendors that are walking up and down the aisle. Correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you got portable vendors that are working the concourses or little alcohol carts in the concourse.
And there's a
But
100 plus items like to do a draft, so to speak, like to pick and choose, or
there's not 100 items, but there's for example, you could have 5 people or 5 open slots to sell Bud Light in the 100 section down the first base line, and then you might have 6 people selling hot dogs in the 200 section, or someone upper deck selling water. So there's about 85 different spots per game.
I appreciate the insight. Like I know we're here for Bears talk, but I always like usually as Bears fans we're so stressed and we're on edge and we're miserable and you're like, all right, let's get us to the next week. But we're kind of like on a high right now. We have the luxury for the first time in a long time to just talk off topic and not have to jump straight into the misery of what should we worry about coming up Sunday against the opponent. So no, I appreciate that insight. That's super cool.
Yeah, of course, happy. I mean, everyone knows, a beer vendor or a hot dog vendor, but no one really knows the behind the scenes of it. So that was why I started making content, was to give people an inside look and share the stories of the guys that have been working there for half a century.
Yeah, like I'm in upstate New York, so it's not even like I'm in New York City. So like the biggest sports stuff that we have is the Syracuse Mets, which is affiliated with the New York Mets, but Syracuse College Sports, which can't
Right.
really jump. So like for me, like I'm still processing like to be able to go to a professional game like every day, like Cubs or White Sox or the Bulls or even the Bears is like kind of like more of a vacation for me to think like than like daily activities because I'm in a small town in Syracuse, New York. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel pretty fortunate about it. I live literally 5-minute walking distance to Wrigley. So, I mean, I'm so busy that I couldn't live any farther. I could not have a longer commute than 5 minutes, but I feel very fortunate. I've lived in Wrigleyville, and it's going to take a lot to get me to leave.
no, that's awesome. Let's talk into some Bears. So the Bears, they're 4-2, right? They're 4-2 right now. Probably, some a good spot where we might have thought they were going into this year, but not the path that how we've gotten here. So how are you feeling about the Bears right now? We're going into week 7 or 8. I know the bye week always messes me up. 4-2, 6. So we're going into week 8 against the Ravens. We just beat the Saints, but how are you feeling about the Chicago Bears as a whole right now? Caleb, the offense, Ben Johnson, the defense. Give us a quick week 8 synopsis and feeling about our beloved.
Yeah, I mean, if my view would have been wildly different if you asked me after week 2. I was ready to write the season off.
Same here.
But this team showed a lot of resilience, and that win against the Cowboys was electric. And I think like once we won that game, we started to see, and I started to feel like, oh, maybe this team is different. And then we win that game against Vegas, and then bye week, Commanders. I mean, they took care of business against the Saints. I feel great. Had the Bears not won the game right after the Cubs got eliminated in Game 5 of the NLDS, I would have been emotionally down bad. But they really pulled me out of that hole, and I've kind of been coasting and riding that enjoyment since then. But I feel pretty good about the squad, and I think Ben is just getting started over here.
Yeah, how are you feeling about Caleb's performance throughout the first 7 weeks of the season? Some ups, some downs, but how are you feeling so far about Caleb?
Yeah, so far decent. Obviously, I mean, occasionally he'll miss some throws, but I think he's still getting comfortable. I think for him, it's he has to get used to having time in the pocket, which is not something he had the luxury of having last year. And I think he's got happy feet a little bit. But he doesn't turn the ball over very much, which I think is super important. I mean, we have the number one turnover differential in the league, and that's why we've been able to be 4-2. Defense has been humming recently. Secondary looks decent. We're getting some pressure on the QBs. But ultimately, like, I think things are clicking pretty well. And I really like Jake Moody as the kicker.
That was a top
even
for today.
Yeah, even I don't know if Santos was healthy last game or not, if he was still injured, but even when he does get healthy again, I'd like to see us stick with Moody.
All right, kicker competition in Chicago: Jake Moody or Cairo Santos. I think Cairo was a full participant in practice this week, but it just more or less, will they give Jake Moody another shot at it, have some more kind of reps to evaluate the competition a little bit more?
I think you have to. I mean, Cairo's great from 45 and in, but I mean, his weaknesses have been, it changes the offensive game plan. If you, in this day and age in kickers, if you don't have a guy who can kick a 55-yard field goal, it just makes things much more challenging. And oh my God, after the first game of the year, I mean, you could feel us blowing that game. It just felt so similar. And the way that we ended up, the nail in the coffin was not being able to kick a ball out of the back of the end zone. Granted, he should have just kicked it out of bounds. I don't know why we were trying to kick it out of the back of the end zone. You just can't have a player on your team where that happens in this day and age. So I am Team Moody. Don't get me wrong, Cairo's good, but I think we need to stick with Moody and ride the hot foot instead of the hot hand.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. Well, I agree the Bears need a better solution at kicker. Cairo Santos is accurate, like you said, from 45 yards or less. Jake Moody's pass in San Francisco worries me a little bit, but sometimes you see in this league with kickers, they just need a fresh place and they kind of reset and get their confidence. So Moody did have that one blocked one a couple of games ago. I forgot which game it was, the Commanders or whatnot, but I definitely kind of want to see this play out one more game. Just maybe keep Cairo on the sidelines this game and get another data point of Jake Moody field goals and kind of go from there. But long term, like this new kicker age, you need someone that can kick 55 plus with ease. You see it with all these other teams when you're watching Red Zone after a Bears game, and it's like, wow, we can't even kick something longer than 55 yards. But definitely agree with you there. What are some of your any concerns for the Chicago Bears right now, whether it's specifically for an angle on the offense or the defense or both? Anything that you're a little bit worried about just as a season as a whole, moving forward?
Yeah, I talked to my cousin about the Bears regularly. It's our main way to stay connected. He lives in LA, and he sent me a stat that said that the Bears have the most big plays per game of any team, which that's good. However, I wouldn't consider us one of them, even though we've scored 21 points in every game, only team to do it. I wouldn't consider us one of the most dominant offenses. Like you look at a Lions or a Buccaneers or a Colts team, and they were, 9th through 14th on this list of big plays. And I think it just goes to show like we need more consistency on our like mid-sized plays. We can't just rely on these home run plays to win games. And the way that I think about that is like I compare it to baseball. Offenses that are too reliant on the home run. If you're hitting home runs, great, but it can cause a pretty quick dry spell in offense. So I'd like to just see more consistency in not the large chunk plays, but just like churning out, 5 or 6 yard plays more regularly. But other than that, I think we have some genius trick plays called. And it's nice to see the running game get going. And I think it'll click with Caleb. I just need him to throw the ball to DJ Moore a little bit more because I got him on my fantasy team, and I don't know what's going. I don't know where that regression happened. Love to see Rome flourish, but DJ's got to get clicking with Caleb.
Yeah, DJ and Caleb have always been an interesting dynamic ever since Caleb's been drafted last year, and the whole body language combo. I mean, last year was a losing team. I think even at the beginning of this year, you could see some of the similar body language, energy type of things with DJ. But I think he's turned it around, at least kind of getting into jumping on the train of being positive or whatnot for the Bears. And I know he had an injury last week, and he's on the injury report or whatnot. But I want to see that. I want to see Colston Loveland get a little bit more involved, and Cole Kmet seems like he might not play this week, so it could be a good opportunity for Loveland to prove why he was a number 10 pick and not Tyler Warren that we should have drafted if we were going to draft a tight end at 10. But and then the Rome Odunze, he's got to catch some 50-50 balls, but he's been playing good.
Yeah.
But it's just weird, like any balls that hit his hand like a 50-50 ball, it's a drop. I've seen it last week and then a couple times, and then obviously the run game has been nice, which is good to see. But a little bit more consistency from Caleb, I would be a little bit more encouraged about too.
Yeah, I want some more Luther Burden also. Zacchaeus, I could go without seeing much more of, but I'd like to see Luther get some more touches.
Yeah, Zacchaeus seems to be Caleb's low key like favorite target in a third and crunch, and third and I need someone to throw it to, and he's been delivering it. Just that Commanders game that he could have had an easy catch and to the house for 90 yards. That would have been nice to see for a few of my bets and fantasy purposes. However, it is what it is. We still won that game, but yeah, the defense not too bad, like we talked about. How are you feeling going into the not the Saints game, the Ravens game?
Is there? I haven't been able to keep up with it. Is there any word on Lamar's status? Is he going to play?
He's been limited practice the last couple of days. It's not officially confirmed yet. So yeah, that's obviously the big question mark: is Lamar playing or not?
Yeah. I mean, it would be a really good test to see really what the defense is made of if he does play. I hope he does not play, because I think it's a much more winnable game if he does not. Otherwise, but I think this Bears team can beat anyone. We opened at 6.5-point underdogs. I don't know if the line's moved at all, but I don't know. I don't have the emotionally in me to bet on Bears games anymore because I'm already way too high strung about the outcome of it. But if I was a betting man on Bears games, I might take the plus 6.5, even if he's playing.
The early line, and then in case he's not playing at last minute, you got a nice spread of plus 6.5. I think Vegas knows better. If they must have some inside scoop or something. Where Chauncey Billups, giving them insider trade or something about
right.
The Ravens
exactly.
Lamar Jackson or something. Do you think the Bears should make any trades, before the trade deadline this year? Any names that you kind of intrigued you, whether it's a pass rusher, running back, or any rumors that maybe you wish were come to fruition with trades?
It's a good question. Offensively, I'm not sure if there's any like enormous difference makers. I think we have the pieces on offense to do something really special. I would have loved in the offseason if we went out and got Micah Parsons. But there's no one, I don't think that is like in that, or that at least I've been reading about that has really piqued my interest specifically, but I would like to see a front office try to make some moves and support a winning team and add some, ammunition mid-year.
No, for sure. Maybe I think the success we've seen from DeAndre Swift in the running game the last couple of games kind of deters me away from trading from a running back. I know first couple of weeks, even going into the season and even the offseason, we needed to add to the running back room, and we just drafted one guy who's been getting some more touches, which has been nice. But somewhere in the pass rusher would be nice. Montez
Yeah.
Sweat and Dio are not really doing it for the amount of money they're getting paid, so that would be helpful. We've seen Dennis Allen get creative, specifically with the Saints with Kyler Gordon and Brisker blitzing. So I know a couple of them are on the injury report, so we'll just see. But I think it would be nice to explore some low risk or high rewarding if it's like a Max Crosby or like some type of pass rusher. Without having
Max Crosby would be phenomenal. I mean, that would be electric.
Right. The little repeat of Khalil Mack trade there. Let's get into score predictions. We got Ravens versus Bears. Right, Bears go on the road. We'll see if Lamar Jackson is playing, but we got to get a score prediction to clip before Sunday.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna go. Well, I'll give two. I'll give one if Lamar is playing and one if Lamar's not playing. If Lamar's not playing, I'll go 27-18 Bears by 9. If Lamar is playing, 31-30 Bears.
Okay, all right. I like it. And then we always do this with our guest of the week. Jonah, you're gonna have to step it up. A lot of pressure is on you. We do bold predictions, right? And then I actually place these bold predictions as bets. We're like, how many? 6 weeks in the season we had 6 guests. We're like, and each one does like 3. We're like 1-17, or even like 2-16, so to speak. We haven't won a lot, but we need a bold prediction from you. Bold prediction is all up into your interpretation. It could be, Caleb throws for 300 passing yards, which people have been trying to do this bet all season long. This bold prediction, or it could be the defense, gets a touchdown. Whatever you want. It's all up to you, but I will clip it. I will actually bet it, and I'll make it oppose Jonah's bold predictions for Ravens versus Bears. But I need you to give me a winner. But it's got to be bold. It can't be like,
Oh, I got you. Do you have like what? Do you have the lines in front of you of what some of the baseline ones are, or should I just?
No, you just
toss something out.
And I look for the bet and I find the one with the best odds. So if it's Caleb throws for 5 touchdowns, I got to find whatever.
You're gonna parlay DJ Moore for 100 yards and a touchdown.
We've seen that before this season.
We're manifesting it.
We're manifesting. All right, POV, as we say, positive only vibes. Which that is a bold prediction because I don't even know if he cracked like 50 yards this year or has any touchdowns. So,
I'm not sure he scored. Yeah.
Yeah. DJ Moore 4 touchdown and 100+ yards. He is on the injury report. So do you want to do a backup bold prediction?
Yeah. Give me a backup one here. I'll take a. Okay. First player to score a touchdown for the Bears, Loveland. First Bears touchdown. I don't know, like maybe the Bears don't win the kickoff. Maybe the Ravens score first. I would say first touchdown overall in the game, but if you want to hedge it a little bit, go Bears. Loveland, first Bears touchdown.
No, we're going to do first time touchdown score of the game. We'll do Loveland.
Well, you can sprinkle whatever your normal unit size is. Do half on each.
All right, half on each. Oh, we don't care. We're degenerates. We'll do the whole unit on each. So hopefully,
beautiful. Hopefully the Bears get the ball first and we get a Loveland touchdown to start the game.
We did a Loveland. I think it was Harrison was our last guest last week. He did have a Colston Loveland anytime touchdown on there, but that didn't hit. But POV, we're gonna manifest it. DJ Moore 100+ receiving yards and a touchdown, and then we have Colston Loveland first time touchdown score and then first time touchdown score for the Bears. Depending on my book if I can get that, but regardless, we're gonna lock them in. I appreciate it, Jonah.
We're going bold here. We'll hopefully we'll check in at noon or around 12:15 Central on Sunday, and we'll do a little celebrating.
Yeah. What time do they play? Oh, they
play at noon, right?
Yeah,
1 o'clock your time.
Oh,
but
yeah, you're
noon.
talking about the Colston Loveland one in particular. Yep, 100%. Yeah. So we'll see that. Hopefully we'll clip it and we'll give you all the flowers. So I do appreciate your time today, John. It was plenty fun catching up, meeting you, and talking Bears, and good luck with your startup and everything. And I got to look into that. Maybe me and my girlfriend will get into one of the fantasy games for one of the upcoming reality TV shows.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds great. Appreciate you having me on, and likewise to you. Good luck keeping building the content here, and hopefully there's a lot more positive Bears content to come out of the season because it's a lot more fun to make when the team is winning, and that was what I felt for the entire Cubs year. So hopefully it continues into the bleak weather times, but the football team stays hot.
Hopefully soon. I mean, yeah, hopefully, Jonah. I appreciate you. Hopefully, we get more Bears wins. Bears versus Ravens coming up. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in the stream. And we'll definitely be in touch. We'd love to have you on again in the future.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you,
Bear
Jonah.
down.
Have a good week.
Yeah. Take care, man. Bye.
Peace. All right, chat. That was Jonah. That was fun talk with Jonah about Bears, Wrigley, the Cubs, and a little bit about his startup. I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream tonight. I do gotta head out. Yo, Oscar, I appreciate those gifts. Hermano, I appreciate those a lot. I appreciate all the love and support today. The new community members, appreciate everything that you guys showed some love and support today for. We have our watch party Sunday against the Ravens, usual time. I better see y'all in the chat for that game. Any new members, bro? Yeah, Oscar, we always got new community members, brother. Twitch got a couple new followers today. And then we're always getting new followers, brother. We got to see you in a watch party stream, my guy. Where have you been, brother? Where have you been? But I appreciate the love and support, chat. A little bit later stream than I anticipated, so I got to tackle some things. But I will definitely be live for Bears versus Ravens. That's Sunday. But I appreciate the love and support. Oh wait, who's on kick? I appreciate the love and support tonight, chat. I'll be streaming tonight. Good luck on your stream, Colin. Go Chargers. Go Chargers. I'll try to stop in between dinner and stuff like that. I appreciate the love and support today, chat. But I gotta go. I will see you guys on Sunday. I better see you on Sunday. I've been around with the boys. Yeah, I need to stay home and watch the party for sure. Just turn on the stream when you're with the homies, brother. Give me 5 new subscribers. How many homies you got? Appreciate the likes. All right, chat. I gotta go. I love y'all. I better see y'all in the chat Sunday. Bears versus Ravens. Gonna be a fun game. We'll see if Lamar's playing, but I appreciate everyone tuning in today. I love y'all. Bear down. Peace.